in hand-painted baseballs and baseball gifts. So once again, head over to unforgettaballs.com. For Father's Day, type in CRN20 and you'll receive 10% off your entire order. Again, that's unforgettaballs.com. Looking for a life insurance company that specializes in what you actually need? Protection. Call Danny today with Symmetry Financial. Danny is certified in all 50 states, which means Symmetry Financial is not limited and has over 30 companies to choose from. Symmetry Financial has proved time and time again that their options and pricing is just better than the rest. Give Danny a call today at 828-994-1681 to see how Symmetry Financial can make life simple.
Welcome back. Episode 1, I75 Minute Shakedown. I am Big Mike Garren alongside the voice of I75 Raceway, Mr. Brian Kyle. Brian, wow, Episode 1. I think it's been a huge success. I hope everybody's enjoyed listening to the show, getting to hear the drivers, and you know, that's what it's all about, brother. It's about the drivers and the fans.
It is, Big Mike. This has been a lot of fun, I know, for me and you to be a part of, and we've enjoyed it. I look forward to this one. I've known Larry for quite some time. I was actually one of my first years of teaching. Larry was in one of my classes, so I got to know him a little bit. And now calling the action at the racetrack and seeing him get his first win at the end of last season. And so far this year, he's won 2 out of the first 3 front-wheel drive races, and he wasn't challenged this past week, Big Mike. Larry was well out in front. I was in Victory Lane for a big part of his race with Spencer Cranfield, interviewing him. But every time I look on the track, I would see the M2 well out in front. So Larry certainly had it figured out and had the car dialed in really well this past weekend.
Absolutely. And folks, Brian has almost introduced him. We have the winner of the front-wheel drive feature Saturday night, 2 of the season, the M2 of Larry McMurray. Larry, thank you, and welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank y'all very much. You know, y'all don't know how much this means to me.
Well, it means a ton to us to have you on. Like we've said before, this is not about me and Brian. It's about you guys and the fans. You guys that strap in those cars are my heroes, and we love the fans that come out. And Larry, you were racing in your own area code Saturday night. You were hooked up. Tell us how it felt Saturday.
Man, I tell you what, I was a little bit nervous. There was quite a few new cars that I didn't see before, and I was kind of nervous about my competition. But like you said, I do it for the fans. I don't do it for the money. I do it for friends and family, and to put on a show for the fans. That's one of my main things, is having fans. But, like I said, like Mr. Kyle said there, I had her dialed in, and she was rolling.
Boy, that's no doubt. And I didn't get to be there last week, but I was lucky enough to be there the first race of the season. We talked in your pits, and you said, I hope to see you over in Victory Lane, which you made it, but I didn't get to get up there. But what a great start, Brian Kyle, to the 2020 season for Larry McMurray.
Yeah, I agree, Big Mike. Things have went well since we finally got to start the 2020 season, and it certainly went well for Larry McMurray. He's had that car dialed in all year. The first race he won in convincing fashion, and then, it's the second week of the season when there was 24 front-wheel drive cars signed in. I think that's the most we've ever had in the history of the racetrack. And Larry ran up front that night. We had to have 3 different heat races. That's how they decided to do it that night. And Larry, he didn't start at the front, but, by the time the race was over with, he was up there with those Adams boys and Jacob Sharp. He was competitive and held his own. And then we had 13 cars in his division this past weekend. And Larry, really, to be honest, never was seriously challenged. He worked hard on his car in the off season, I'm sure, and had some help, and it's certainly paying off for Larry so far this season.
Oh, no doubt. And, you know, he was so close so many times last season. He was always lurking around the front, and looks like he's got her dialed in. Larry, it being a long off season, did that help you in any way prepare your car to get ready for this year?
It helped me a little bit, not much. I was chomping at the bit, ready to see some mud flying. I done what I could and needed to do, and just let her sit there, and I had to stare at her for a few weeks until we opened up.
That's like all of us. We were itching to get back to the track, but Brian, I want to point out something that Larry just said a few minutes ago. He don't do it for the money. He does it for the fans. That's what I love about our sport, because you are not going to get rich racing at the dirt track unless you're in one of the big series and you got those, a ton of big sponsors. These guys, I know Larry works as hard as anybody Monday through Friday at his regular job, and then he's turning wrenches on that car at night, getting ready for the next Saturday, and that's what I love about these guys, Brian.
Yeah, I think Big Mike, myself in the announcer's booth, and a lot of the fans in the stands, we probably don't fully realize how much time and effort these guys put into those race cars throughout the week, during the evenings and, the hours that they can. It's probably countless hours. I don't know how much help Larry has. I'm sure he has some folks helping him out throughout the week, but you got to give credit to these drivers for the effort and the time. And I know he's not doing it for the money, but racing costs a lot of money. So the money that he invests in the sport.
Oh, 100%. And, myself being part of I75 Radio, we sponsor a car. We sponsor the 8J of Jeff Jackson. I wish we had enough money to sponsor all of our local guys. Larry's one of them. He's one of my favorites. He's there week in, week out. Well, I can't say favorites. Like I said before, all you guys are my heroes. You guys are strap in. And I'll tell you something, Brian, and I'm as guilty as anyone. And every track I've ever been to, usually the front-wheel drive is the last feature of the night. They're not running 12-second laps. And I have been known to jump out of the stands and head on to the car. And I'll tell you what, last year I got to watching and staying and seeing the front-wheel drives. Those guys drive just as hard, and they race just as hard, and they work just as hard as any class out there. And they put on a great show for us.
Yeah, several times last year, I think out of the 8 features we ran, that was the most exciting, the most entertaining race of the night. And I do have to give it up for our fans this season. I've noticed the last 2 weeks in particular, by the time that front-wheel drive feature rode around, some had left out, but those stands were still pretty full last week and then this past weekend as well. So maybe word's getting out that some of the best racing of the night is in the front-wheel drive.
Larry, tell us what got you into racing, and if you have any plans of moving up into a different division, or if you're happy right there in front-wheel drive.
Well, what got me into racing, about 4 or 5 years ago, I used to watch my brother race at Cleveland Speedway. And, man, just watching him race, my adrenaline was pumping and my heart was racing. And I said, man, I really want to do that. And, I went to front-wheel drive, and I raced it for 2 years. And I tried to move up to Thunder, and it didn't really quite work out well for me. So I went back to front-wheel drive and got me a good car and got it all, dialed in right. And I really don't think I'm going to move up anytime in the future. I'm going to stay in front-wheel drive and get me a couple championships underneath my belt and go from there.
I love it, Brian. He said he's going to get him some championships. I love the determination. I seen it in him last year. He came so close so many nights, but he's got her figured out, and we're going to see some good things from Larry McMurray.
Yeah, we're early in the season, Big Mike, but if folks want to go to I75Raceway.com, there's a link there for the point standings. And if you look at the point standings in front-wheel drive, you know who's on top right now, don't you, Big Mike?
I certainly do. The man's got 2 out of 3 this year. Larry, we can't thank you enough for spending some time with us tonight. And you just keep the hammer down, keep doing what you're doing, and we enjoy seeing you week in and week out. Folks, that's Larry McMurray, the driver of the M2 front-wheel drive hot rod. Thank you, Larry, for being with us, my friend.
I appreciate it, and it means a lot to me to be talking and hearing maybe, my fans hearing my voice and have a little bit more fans come next Saturday.
100%. That's why we do this. We want to hook you guys up with the fans. Sadly, unless you buy a pit pass, there's kind of a little disconnect from the grandstands to the pits, and that's why we do this. We want the fans to hear the drivers, and who knows, we may start having a few fans involved in this show. I was thinking about something earlier about that, but again, Larry, congratulations on your win Saturday night and it being your second win of the season, and we wish you well, my friend. Thank you for being with us.
No problem. Thank y'all.
Brian Kyle, what a fine gentleman, Larry McMurray.
Yeah, he is. You won't find many people better character than Larry McMurray. I know there's some friends of his, Marcus, that works at the racetrack. They were moving last year and up in the Knoxville area, and Larry took off from Athens and went up there and helped them out as much as he could. So I think we mentioned that about Kyle Courtney earlier, how he will help people as much as he can off the racetrack. Larry McMurray, just an outstanding friend to so many people in the area off the racetrack as well, Big Mike.
And like we've said so many times during this show, we're just one big family. Folks, we've got one more interview. On episode 1 of the I75 Minute Shakedown, I am Big Mike Garren alongside Brian Kyle, the voice of I75 Raceway, right here on CRN Sports Network.
Hey, this is Trace Nye with CRN. Hey, I wanted to give you an update about Unforgettables.com. Again, that's Unforgettables.com. They are offering a special Father's Day weekend special. If you go to their website at Unforgettables.com, type in the code CRN20. Again, that's CRN20. With that code, you'll receive a 10% off your entire order. Again, CRN20. All you got to do is go to Unforgettables.com. They specialize in hand-painted baseballs and baseball gifts. So once again, head over to Unforgettables.com. For Father's Day, type in CRN20, and you'll receive 10% off your entire order. Again, that's Unforgettables.com.
Some energy drinks want to scare you. Some even want to bully you around. And the others, they're just blowing smoke. Packed with vitamins B3, B5, B6, and B12, the new HiQ energy drink comes available in 4 exciting flavors. Skyberry Fusion, Apple, Coconut Fruit Punch, and Lemon Lime. Natural caffeine, no preservatives, no crash, no bull. IQ Energy Drink. Wings are for birds.
Here we are, folks. Episode 1. We're wrapping it up. What a show this has been. The I-75 Minute Shakedown here on CRN Sports Network. Last but not least, we also had driver 25 car and 4-cylinder Nathan Davis. pulled out the win. Couldn't get Nathan. He couldn't be with us tonight, but